Everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. So so much for joining in. And if this is your first time in Satsang, if you're in the Hangout, you can ask your question by just unmuting your mic. If you're outside the Hangout, you can just type it out in the question and answers application. Hear a little bit of disturbance. Forget about enlightenment. The concept of enlightenment does not do anything for you. It is not helpful for you. It had its time and place. Initially, when there was this desire for enlightenment, it has served its purpose, it has got you to satsang. Forget that something must happen to you. Nothing is going to happen to you. To know that nothing is going to happen to me is enlightenment. Is that okay? Can we accept that? Trouble? Don't expect an appearance. Don't expect an experience. If it was just an experience, then it would have no value. It would just feel good for a little bit of time, and then inevitably you would go and say, I had it and then I lost it. Because no experience can stay. No state will stay. Then, if you forget about enlightenment, then what are we doing here? If we don't want anything, we don't want enlightenment also, then what are we doing here? We're just here to look at our own reflection in the mirror. In the mirror of satsang, you see your own reflection. So coming to satsang is like inquiry. What happens in the inquiry? Go within and you see your true self. When you come to satsang, you're here to see your true self. Not as this form. We're not talking about forms. We're talking about the presence. We come to satsang to feel our own presence, to be in our own presence, which is actually ever present. And that's why it's such a beautiful thing. So satsang is not meant to be something where you experience something and then this presence goes away. It is not that. It is just to drown in this presence and this presence can continue. So our entire life becomes satsang. Yes. Rashmi is here. So she has a question.
Some discomfort right now. My heart is racing. Not the first time here.
Yes. Something is strongly being felt.
I just walked into the room and I just something. I can see it, but so something I wanted to expose.
Yes.
Usually when I walk into the room and if you're there, there's some shyness to look into your eyes the first couple of minutes every time I come.
Yes.
Something much stronger.
This is very similar to what Jesse was saying yesterday also. I don't know whether you heard the satsang yesterday, but so he also had this thing that something strongly wants to not come up. And Rashmi also says that she's here in satsang in this place and something strong, it seems like very strong. It's very good. It might seem like it's really restrictive or something strong vibration, something like that. But it's okay. This is good because this also we see that I am not touched by this actually. Sometimes it happens in satsang. You've seen, some of you have seen also here that sometimes maybe it's somebody in the satsang or something. Sometimes there's a sort of a transference of some feelings or emotions or something that comes here also very strongly. Like once I walked into satsang and I felt so much grief. Like some grief got transferred here, and for about 10 minutes I was not able to speak also. But actually nothing was touched. So all these phenomenal things, all these temporary things are free to come and go. But you are the untouched one. The minute we give reality that this is happening to me, that's when it becomes trouble. So we can say this is happening, but don't say this is happening to me. Because you will not be able to show me the me to which it is happening. That I know. So nothing is happening to you. It's just a happening. And no happening can touch you. No happening can touch you. All happenings only touch other happenings. All appearances only touch other appearances. So are you an appearance? For many lifetimes, maybe we have believed that I am an appearance. But you are not the appearance. You are the one to which all these appearances are appearing and disappearing. So if I am not an appearance, then what am I? What must I be? Only two options actually, isn't it? It's either appearance or the witnessing of the appearance. Is there any other option? I can be only what is appearing or the one that is witnessing this appearing. What must I be? It was not a difficult question. The mind will say, oh, but this is difficult. How can I answer this? So I'm making it multiple choice with only two choices. Are you that which is appearing, or are you that which is witnessing all of this appearing? What are you?
Just have this count. If I'm here, I can't be there.
So if I am the witnessing of whatever is appearing, in what way can the witnessing be touched by the appearance? We can check this. It might seem like a very simple question. The mind will say, yes, yes, I already know this. It's the same thing. But check. What appearance can actually touch the witnessing? Can I be touched? And this is very good for you also right now. Something strong is coming, it's the best time to check. Oh, this seems strong, but am I really touched? In what way am I touched? So it could be that something strong in the body. You see, no words are coming out, not able to breathe. Everything is just falling apart. But if you were to check, you will see that nothing real has been affected. I am untouched. This is the strength of freedom. This is freedom. And this is so much better than just saying freedom means I will come to a particular state and not leave. That doesn't sound like freedom to me. It sounds like fear. That I have a fear of some states and now I am free from those states. So do you want new kind of fears or do you want real freedom? See, this happens a lot in spiritual movements, many spiritual movements. Through some practices or something happens and we experience some new states. Then what happens? We get attached to those states. And then if the state goes, as all states will go, when the state goes, then we say, oh, I lost it. That is not freedom. It's not difficult. If I were to do some research and with some past experiences, I can make some practices up and say you breathe like this and then you breathe like that, and then you will have this state of joy which will come and love which will come. I don't want to do that, you see. It's easy. It's easy. All of it is very well documented in India. How to breathe so that you will feel some joy, you will feel some love, your body will feel better. All of this is easy. But it has nothing to do with freedom. Freedom means that you are now immune to any states which are arising. Everything is allowed. There is no resistance to anything at all. And then you cannot lose this. This seeing that I am untouched by any appearance cannot be lost. In fact, what can happen is that when strong appearances come, then we check again and say, am I touched? Am I touched by any of this? Okay, there's some chat as well. Rizal said Ram is moderating. Yes, but Ram suddenly is not here at the moment. That's fine. Donna said, dearest Ananta, okay, don't hit the return button, just keep typing. Okay, got it. For many years, dearest Ananta, for many years, I have wanted to ask my guru for a name and never did, and wondered if you would do me the honor of giving me a new name. She says, for many years, I have wanted to ask my guru for a name and never did, and wondered if you would do me the honor of giving me a new name. It would be my complete joy. Very happy. So the next in-person satsang that we have, which should be on the next Saturday, not on the coming one. That in-person, after the in-person satsang, then we will do the little ceremony that we do. We just met 2 days ago.
It's a little sudden.
This is love, see? When we meet and something opens in the heart and it's clear that I'm ready to hand over my old identity at the feet of the Master. Very good. Claire said, Or it's like, am I the sufferer or not the sufferer? Yes, yes, exactly. Am I the appearance or the witnessing? That means the same as, am I the sufferer or the one that cannot suffer? Claire says, in the middle of the night, I had a big suffering storm and saw that I am not the sufferer again. Thank you. Very good. This is very good. So soon you will also stop using words like big storm and things like that. Because you see, all of this is nothing for you. All of this can be strong momentarily, it can seem, but you will see that it was nothing, just like everything else, just coming and going. Lizal said, I'm going out and need to get back in, so please eject someone if there isn't a space. Ram can't do the moderating. I see. There seems to be space, so we'll wait and see what happens. Charles is here with us today. Very good. Good to see you. Namaste. Very nice. Kapil is also here. Naomi is here. Very good. So, can I be the content of my experience? Can I ever be the content of what I am experiencing? See, this is our virtual ashram. This is our virtual ashram in the hangouts. So, like in a physical ashram, sometimes there could be too much rain, sometimes it could be something else. Even this technology ashram has trouble sometimes. It's okay. At least there are no flights to catch, no jet lag.
Father,
Yes, my dear.
can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfectly.
Good. Since your conversation last night with Jesse, there's just been an overwhelming desire to come on the hot seat. Uh, you mentioned something about how the ego fears this because it fears its own annihilation, and
Yes,
that triggered something because I just felt that's what I want. I've
yes,
done this searching thing, the seeking thing, and the self and God. That's all beautiful, but this ego annihilation word kind of triggered something, and it's just been overwhelming since.
yes, yes. This is very good. And I'm very happy to see you here. Mhm. Very good. So what are the feelings which are coming up now?
Well, I'm just amazed that I actually clicked the unmute button first. I was going back and forth, how the ego or the mind would say, is this going to happen? Can you continue on your, don't take any action, see what happens type route. And
Yes,
I got tired of playing that game.
yes,
Um,
yes. This is also very nice. This is also very nice because when we hear that I am not the doer, then we decide not to take some action. You see? That is also a form of doership. And when we let go of doing or not doing, then something just flows on its own. So, like he said, Charles said he got tired of playing the game of doing or not doing, and then something just happened.
And it's just an opportunity to be here. I mean, to have this, it's a blessing to be with you and Sangha and just watch the interaction and to be a part of it. It's something I wanted for a long time, just never seemed to be able to, you know, find it, I guess, or grace allow it to happen. But it's here, and I'm trying to welcome it as much as I can.
Yes, yes. This is very good. This is very good. So, is there something which can still appear for you, which still has the potential you feel to cause some suffering?
Yes, I mean it's I've been listening for the last 3 months, I guess, since I've come across you, and the trying to differentiate. You cleared a lot of some things up for me because there's been an experience of, I guess, would be self-realization or whatnot, where there's that expectation. Well, I know what he's talking about, I know where he's speaking from, but I don't feel this right now. But
Yes,
you've clearing that up and pointing me to whether you're in the wave state or the particle state. It's that attention or the awareness that is the same throughout, and
yes,
that's kind of hitting home, settling with me. So I'm trying to just, you know, go through this process with whatever patience I have, um, and but really, I don't know how much patience I do have. I'm just tired. This is my whole life, this seeking job that I've turned it into, this suffering job, whatnot, and I'm just, if the ego can be annihilated with hot seat, I'm here, Father.
yes, yes. Also, we must look at the fact that we don't need to kill the ego. In fact, nobody has been able to kill the ego. So
Yes,
even
Father.
Bhagavan said that the ego, which started off seeming like a strong rope, now remains just as a burnt rope. He did not say that the rope vanishes.
It's a mind game. I mean, and that's what I'm trying to work through, and it just
Yes,
seems to keep replaying. But
yes, yes.
this is what
So
Satsang's for.
as of this moment, just stop playing the game. The game is not required. The game is actually perpetuating the ego itself by saying that something still needs to be done. So nothing needs to be done. You see that there are appearances and there is a witnessing of these appearances. And no matter what the mind is saying, you cannot step out of the witnessing and become part of the appearance. That is why my job is the simplest. Because the truth is unchanging. Right now, you are just witnessing all that is coming up, isn't it? You're perceiving these words, you're seeing the computer screen, all of this you are just witnessing. Now, if some feeling comes, then that feeling will also be witnessed. If some thought comes that you must now do this, even that will be witnessed. There is nothing beyond this witnessing. And if you were to see, there is no distance between yourself and this witnessing. There is no separation between you and this witness of all these appearances. And if you sense that there is some distance, or if you sense that I am not the witnessing, I am something else, then you can expose that and we can look at it together.
I can see the attention, but I also feel I don't feel a separation from thought. You were talking the other day about where do your thoughts come from, and
Yes.
I couldn't see any separation from thought. I am my thought, and there was nothing there to say that this is what I'm seeing.
Okay,
And
this is very good. We can start from here. So is there a thought right now?
just to say no,
And now? So what can happen is that there are spaces between thoughts, isn't there? It's not like it can seem like it is a continuous stream. It can seem like it is a continuous stream. But if you were to just look, you will see that there are spaces between thoughts. And if there are spaces between thoughts, then you cannot be a thought because you are witness even to the space between them, isn't it? You can say there is a thought and there is no thought. Don't try to understand it. Just try to see whether this is true, this is truly what happens. Because if you try to understand it, then you're using your mind to try and figure it out. Here we're just talking about a simple looking. We're simply looking at what is happening, looking with complete openness. So even if you say that when I look, what I find is something different from what you're saying, even that is completely open. Your thought can come and the thought will go. Did you go along with the thought? You were still here, isn't it? So this one that is still here, even after the thought went, who is that one?
it all comes always back to the I thought. That's the closest I can narrow it down to. There's always a sense of I, and
Yeah.
finding that differentiation between I and this. I and I've
Right, right now we will do it. Right now we will do it. You say that there's a sense of I. There's a sense of I. Who sees this? Even this you see to be able to say that there is a sense of I, isn't it? Don't worry about a spatial distance. We're not talking about distance in centimeters or millimeters. We are just talking about the true perspective. So you said that there's a sense of I, which is at the root of all these thoughts which are coming and going. You see? This sense of I, how do you know it is here? Because you see it. You see? You don't see it as necessarily a phenomenal appearance, but it's felt as a presence. It is perceived as a presence. You see? So first there must be a you through which even this presence is arising, isn't it?
That's what we're pointing to.
Yes, yes. This is what you are, irrespective of what the states come and go. See, even this sense of I is not present in deep sleep. See, when you sleep and then you say, I woke up. So, what actually woke up? That this sense of I came. Isn't it? So, you are able to say that I went to sleep and then I woke up. That means you knew that the sense of I was not there and the sense of I is there now. Now, the mind will try to paint some pictures of this for you. Don't worry about those pictures. Don't try to figure it out. And don't create a visual framework now for your understanding. It is not in the imagery. Because even those visuals which the mind will be painting are witnessed by you. And this witnessing is completely free from any attributes. So you cannot create a picture out of it. You see?
It's always apparent, right, Father? I mean, it's when I did self sourcing before, there was the first time, kind of led to that just glimpse of the laughing Buddha type experience.
Yeah.
And so there's always been this anticipation of, as I try to source the I, or I'm always looking,
Yeah.
but it's apparent now. It's before the looking. I mean, and it's after the looking. It's starting to hit home a little bit.
Very, very good. And the simple question, am I aware now? The simple question, am I aware now? It clarifies everything in that instant, you see. Without any mental understanding, the mind will say, but nothing happened. I've asked this question, and most of the minds will be saying this, Why does Ananta stress on this question so much? Because for me, nothing happens. But that is the whole point, that we see awareness is here, and yet nothing has really happened. You see, it is the background of all appearances. So the mind is still expecting something should change. When the question is asked, am I aware now? Nothing happens. But it is clear that I am aware. And it is only awareness which can be aware of itself. This is the simple, sober seeing. And this is the background to all these appearances. This is prior even to the presence of being. So this awareness is unmovable. You cannot step out of it. You cannot become the content of any appearance. And yet it is seen that all these appearances are arising from within me. The dance of Shiva is happening for me. And yet, in this instant, if the entire universe was to burn to pieces, I would be untouched. Because there is no part of me which is touched by any appearance. And so I'm not concerned if this is the last moment in the life of the entire universe or the universe is just getting started. It makes no difference. This is freedom. Freedom does not mean that my universe becomes a certain way. Freedom is not even the happy dream, you see. It is not that the dream becomes happy, although it seems to become, but it is not in that. That is just a symptom. The fact is that whatever the appearances might be coming and going, they lose their impact on us. We stop pretending as if we are affected by them. It is as simple as seeing what we talked about a little earlier, which is to see who is witnessing the thought coming and going. The thought will be saying, I am you, I am you. What do you mean? Show me the separation. You see, the thought will be saying that. But you are witnessing even the thought saying all of this. And you stay untouched by what it is saying. But somehow, in the play of this consciousness, you were given the power of belief, the power of pretense. So you can pretend that what the thought is saying is true, but it actually never is. Because all thoughts apply only to the imaginary one. They do not apply to you. All thoughts are about a concept. All thoughts are about an idea. The idea of me. The idea of you can never be you. It's just another idea. And we are not at war with the ego. We are not to be at war with the ego because that would be to give it too much attention and reality. Even to say that I am at war with my ego or I want to kill my ego would be to give it too much attention. It does not deserve even that. It does not deserve my war also. And as we keep letting go of all these appearances as thoughts, we'll find that through all of this, I remain the witnessing, the pure awareness, which is aware of all of this. Is something coming up to say now?
I don't even know where all the words were coming from before, but
Yeah.
it just seems, if anything else, it's identification. I mean, I don't know if I'm just playing mind games with myself. What is this identification that seems to be persistent or that seems to be a force? I mean, is that thought or is it? It just seems like there's when you know yourself, there's that knowing. How did I ever forget? With
Yes,
me,
yes.
I don't know who I am right now because I do not feel that same knowing, and it's I've created a separation, a duality that I've played it so many times in my head, trying to figure out, trying all the tricks anyway to, not think, not give it any credence or credibility or just, it's all mind game. Just don't believe your next thought.
Yes.
But there still seems to be this identification that seems different from that natural knowing of who you've always been or will ever be. And I just, I'm letting that go. I'm letting that expectation go. It's I don't want anything to hold me back. I'm throwing it here in the Satsang fire, but I'm, I'm just here.
Very good. Very good. There is nothing holding you back. Nothing is holding you back. Forget about identification. Forget about knowing also. Suppose you never heard these words. Hmm? Now, at best, what there could be is the expectation that there should be something happening. I should feel a certain way. I should feel free. I should feel bliss. Something. That's another thought. That's another thought. The thoughts about the knowing are not the knowing. Right now, the true knowing is present. It actually cannot leave. So the knowing is not a mental knowing, is not an intellectual understanding. Because you have seen, isn't it? You've seen that in spite of all the intellectual understanding, there still seems to be, there are many who can have a lot of intellectual understanding but still seem so conflicted and full of suffering. So it's clearly not in the intellectual understanding. So if you were empty of all of these concepts, then what remains now? What needs to be known? Suppose your past never happened. Suppose all those experiences also never happened. What needs to be known now?
Nothing needs to be known. I can just let it go.
Is
It's
very
it's
good.
all it never happened. I know it never happened.
Is very good.
Thank you, Father.
Oh, thank you so much. So wonderful. So wonderful. Okay, there's some chat. Okay, so the moderators are speaking amongst each other, and hopefully they've sorted it out. Jyoti says, Namaste Ananta ji, the December satsang, second satsang was wonderful. Thank you so much, my dear. Amrita is also here. Very good, very good. Claire says, Dear Anantaji, something that's coming up here that might help Charles is that when we simply do a deep sigh of relief, we are that emptiness, and that is at the end of the sigh. Very simply put and very beautiful. So who's going to sing a song? Yes, Rashmi is going to sing.
Hello, everybody. So good to see you all. My heart's racing again.
Take your time.
Can I drink that one?
Yeah, what?
Thank you. Anandamai Chaitanyamai Satyamai Parame 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 Anandamai Chaitanyamai Satyamai Parame
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing singing. He's waiting?
No, he's just putting rice. He wants to do something.
Okay.
He wanted to come today.
Yes?
He wants to come to Satsang,
Okay.
but he had one.
Oh,
He'll come.
very good.
He's very happy actually.
Yes?
And
Very
I'm
good.
very happy that
Yes, yes, yes. The best news.
that's all I can say.
You're welcome. It doesn't feel like satsang is over today somehow. Something left to be said. Someone is holding on to a question and not saying, or something. I don't know what.
Father, it's me. I was going to say that all the craziness and
Yes.
the technical stuff
Yes.
all happened while the awareness was untouched.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it was a great example. And I was going in and out of the other hangout and hearing your voice and snippets of what you were saying. And every time it was like a Mahavakya. And I just wanted to say thank you because it's great satsang.
Yes. Yes. See, all this is also satsang. You see.
Yes,
All this.
all the technical drama.
I said that seva is very strong. Satsang. Seva is very strong. In fact, I have not seen any force which crushes the ego as much as seva does. Even when we feel everything is under control, it's all been planned out perfectly. Seva has this way of bringing out all that is possible, everything possible. This is very good.
What happened yesterday? I was working on the book.
Yes. Maybe you speak up a little bit.
Yeah, that happened last night, and I was working on the last transcript that I was highlighting for the book project, and my husband was waiting for me to go to bed. I'm like, just 10 minutes, 10, and I just, once I go into a transcript, I'm just lost in it, and he's just waiting and waiting, and then eventually comes and says, I'm just going to bed. And then something stirred up there, and it was all the guilt here. It was not his fault. It was there's so much that came up, and I'm not giving him enough time. There's too much satsang, too much. But it's all okay. it did stir up a lot, but that's fun. Fun to watch the ego actually. Love you all so much.
Love you.
I just wanted to say if anybody is coming to Bangalore, I wrote it on chat, but if somebody missed, our home is open. I've spoken to my husband, and I have 2 boys, so you might have to bear with that. But you ever feel like our home is open? Thank you.
You've not heard from Martha and
Very nice to see all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Very much.
Blowing kisses.
I was reading about the Stoics. No, the other day I mentioned, and when I said Stoics the first time, she seemed to know about it. And I was reading about them, and I found that they started in Spain, isn't it? They started in Spain, and then it was a philosophy that went to the Romans from Spain, actually, originally.
Father, there's this saying that the sleep is very interrupted thing, and it feels. So I'm just saying, like the sleep feels very interrupted. Like it's not feels like it's not going to the deep sleep, and it feels like the dream that's going on right now, the waking dream, continues in sleep state. It's like see my kids or I see the newspaper guy. It's just is going on. It's just too much
How is it?
mind activity going on. I have no idea where it comes from. Just thought I'd mention it. Like it just continues. It's not like a new dream or something. It's just this dream just goes on. There's not enough rest to the body, but it's okay.
So is it like the same dream? So suppose it's 11 o'clock in the night.
I have no idea about the time. Probably. I don't know if the time continues that way, but I'm giving the newspaper guy a dose. I'm giving my kids a dose. I'm just giving doses to everybody. It's like or I see the sangha and I see you, and it's like I'm going to satsang, and like so it feels like I'm still the same being there, same person there. It's just
Sometimes it can happen like that all these things which are getting resolved, worked out. You see, what happens in dream many times, if you notice, is that things which are not resolved here in this waking state, we're trying to find solutions to them in the sleep, or we're trying to get over some stress or something which is there gets released in dreams. So it can happen like that. So maybe this whole process of everything getting released, it's also continuing in the other states which are there.
it does one feel like after the in-person satsang, body really gets tired. Like
Yes.
something just feels sick. And I know the sickness is not coming out of neglect of body.
Yes.
It's just, and I feel something deeper is going on. I feel very tired.
It can be. And these are all variants of satsang fever.
Yes, but I didn't want the mind interpreting it and telling my husband this is what's going on because it's just an interpretation.
Yeah, it's not required also.
Yeah.
So many times after long in-person satsang, especially if there's resistance, I've said this before, that the body feels very tired. But this time we had a very long satsang, we had 4 hours or something. Yeah, so we had very long, and yet the body was not very tired. Okay. All this is okay. Yes, my dear.
Father, so like you were saying, it's playing out that there's just no energy to do many tasks here. Like I've told you this before, right? So, but it's been a while now. So, I mean, there are things that come up, which people are telling me that I could do this and I could do that because I'm not doing anything really. But there is just nothing is like I'm not getting that thing to do anything, Father. So, is this like something I should look at, or I don't know, because I don't feel to do anything, tasks in the sense, There's very little I do in the day. I mean, except just basic things, maybe cooking and, just very basic things. So I don't know if, what if you had something to tell me.
So don't worry, just trust all of this and don't decide to do or not do. Don't make any decision either to do or not to do. That is neutrality. And then trust whatever is happening. Just be completely open, moment to moment, whatever is coming up, and don't decide to say yes or no. Just watch what is happening. Okay, so somebody comes to you next minute and gives you a job offer. Don't have any pre-decision. Just see what your
So
mouth
it's
is
like
saying.
So I've gone, say, to meet somebody and they've said, like, maybe I can write for them. I go and I meet them. I say, yes, yes, yes. I come back and then I just don't want to do anything. I just don't get into doing anything. So,
That's also fine because this life energy is also serving consciousness itself. If there is life energy, it will play out in activity, and if there is no life energy, it will play out in inactivity. You are only the witnessing of all of this. It's not your problem, actually.
thank you,
And we
Father.
cannot even know, we don't know what anything is for. We don't know why the rest which is happening is for. It could be that we don't do anything for years, and then there's an explosion of activity that could happen. Or maybe even that doesn't happen. We cannot predict. If we look back at our lives, we will find that we've not been able to predict anything. And we've never known what something is for or not. So just trust whatever is appearing with complete openness, no desire and no aversion. Just just be.
Beloved.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, my dear.
Hello, Ananta.
Yes, my dear.
Hello. I just had a very strong burning
Yes.
that arose now. um, on the one hand, there's this don't believe your next thought. Um, if I allow that, there's absolutely nothing more to say, and I'm just thrown back into the only moment that exists, which is now, and it's all unfolding. And but on the other hand, there's a very strong urge to surrender. Um, let's put it this way: these logs into the fire, and just sort of put them at your feet. And this is what I'm feeling now. It's something I was going to write to you yesterday on
Yes.
a
Yes.
private message because
Yes.
I couldn't find the way to expose it publicly, even if the Hangouts is my family, but I just couldn't break that taboo. And I just have to say it here. I'm just fumbling my way along. As I mentioned to you before, I had this breakup with my relationship, and
Yes.
it has really um, it really gets to me. I've been trying to work it out mentally, going by the scriptures and so forth, but it's just too much. I just can't handle it, and I just have to bring this forward. Um, I guess there was a tremendous. I'm suspect to say anything about it because it's just so much mind and so much attachment and identification here that it's almost insane. I was so dependent on the relationship, and I went so deeply into it, and there was on my part so much dissolving and healing and beauty and intimacy and ever growing. This is an ever growing process, and then suddenly it was disrupted and just, and I can't really say I see the blessing of it, I see the curse of it at the same time. I'm absolutely thrown to the gutter. And I find that during the day, it just makes me so sad that what to say of the witnessing of the whole thing. The identification of my body, mind, emotions, and the sentimentality that's around. When you are in a relationship that is so rich in so many ways. I'm not saying it was a garden of roses. It had its thorns, but that's okay with me. It was something that was so rewarding, as love is so rewarding. But I just wanted to bring this into the light, into the fire, and somehow just unburden myself with it, because I haven't found the vocabulary to share it. And it's a funny thing. I'd like to bring this up as well, and then, now I see all these gorgeous women, in the Sangha and stuff, and there's this also feeling of, oh, wow, how wonderful it would be to have a sort of consort, that you're in Sangha together, you're in the Satsang together. And I have to admit, Ananta, I still have this this distraction, as you've mentioned, and Muji has mentioned quite often. That you get into a relationship. But is it okay to have this, this feeling that I'm having? Would it be a distraction if I felt I still feel to have this interchange? This. I'm very skeptical about it, because it's something I feel, and at the same time, it's not spiritually correct. If you see me, if you could throw some light on that, please.
Very good. Firstly, wonderful integrity and honesty. Very good. This is very good. How many can actually come up like this and share with such openness? It's very good. So on the first part of what you said, it seemed like there are these feelings of grief or regret or something, strong feelings because of this relationship going away. And then you said that I'm trying to use scripture or some understanding to be free from this grief. You must not get into this kind of a adversarial situation with any feeling which is coming. If grief is here, then you let grief play out. Be completely open. You have an infinite amount of space, and there is not enough grief in the universe to fill up the space that you have. So don't fear this grief. Let it come, don't resist it. And for a few moments, even for a little longer, based on how much the relationship was nurtured, it can seem like it's really strong and unbearable. It can seem like you're dying because of this grief. It can seem like that. But just stand your ground and let it all play out. Don't try to stop it. Don't resist it. Because if you resist it, then it will persist. And when it is something as strong as this, then it can stay for a while. These feelings can linger on for a while. But by your resistance, they will only persist longer. So what you do is just take it moment by moment. When things seem too unbearable, just say, I'm going to get by this moment. This moment. Don't say, I want to be free from this forever. Don't make it like something which you want a solution or remedy for the long term. Just get by moment to moment, and you will find that every morning when you wake up, most mornings you will feel better than you did the previous day. You will feel better. If you're not resisting, if you're allowing all this to get released, then it can free itself up like this.
Yes, I hear
So
you loud and clear.
don't be in a rush to heal yourself. Don't feel that now I have understood so much, you know, I found freedom and now this healing, I should just be able to snap and gone. It does not happen like that. Okay? So
It's
allow
just that
yourself to feel the grief, be completely open to it.
yeah,
Yes, go ahead.
it's just that this has lingered on so long that I really have been taxing myself a lot with wanting to snap out of it, because it gets to a point where it's almost so solemn, you know. It's almost morbid in a way sometimes, you know, and I'm going, oh my God, when is this
Yeah.
cloud gonna go away, you know, and so yeah.
So it can feel like that. It's really morbid, like you said. It can feel like that. You see? And don't say that it should feel like something else. Because
Yes.
there is great purity in even this grief. There is great purity, there is a great fire which is being lit even because of this grief, and it is burning all concepts that you have about yourself. All concepts of identity are getting burnt in this. So don't feel that it should go away. Just see it's feeling really strong, it is there, but you are there to witness it. When you make it about past or future, then it will seem like too much of a burden to carry.
Mm.
But in the moment, in every moment, all this can arise and you will be just fine. Ultimately, you are untouched.
I'd just like to say that I feel my prayers have been answered in many ways, because to be sharing this with you all is such a relief, and yeah, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, it's just a real blessing, a blessing.
This is what satsang is for you to be able to come up and share openly with integrity that this is what is going on here. And it seems so real, you see. So this was the first part of what you said. Now the second part, what you said is that I've been through this situation, and now it seems like there are so many women here in the Sangha, and I'd like to be with them, and it feels good. So don't use this as a way to disguise what you're feeling. Don't use this as a cover up for your grief, because the mind will have this tendency. Okay, you lost this. Now let's replace it with something else. And then when you lose that, then you look for replacing that with something else. How long will this go on? And how many lifetimes will this go on?
Yes, this very clear to me. I substitute that actually for, no, that's not the right word, substitute, but just being in the Sangha. I think it's just the opening, actually, you know, irrelevant of gender.
Yeah.
It's this dissolving into exposing everything and opening that is really, uh, you know, approaching the heart and feeling relaxed, which is what I was saying to you yesterday about, you know, the I know there's the witnessing of any state of being. But at the same time, I had to get this out of the way. It's really bizarre. And yeah, I can witness what I'm saying now as well, but I just had to get this burden off my shoulders. I just had to share this. And
No, I'm very happy to hear this because it smells of so much integrity and honesty. It is very good.
whew,
But I would much rather hear these tales of true honesty and integrity rather than hear some, you know, hear any concepts or hear anything about Advaita also. Because this is real, you see, this is when the rubber hits the road. This is when spirituality actually hits the road. Otherwise, it just stays as mental understanding. So the beauty of the Sangha is that nobody is here to form personal relationships, although it can happen. It happens in all Sanghas that personal relationships get formed. But the key to why everyone is there is because they love the master. They love the truth. They love freedom. And Sangha, like the rest of the world, can also have its distractions. You see, you can say, "Oh, this one I'm feeling attracted, or I'm feeling attached to this one." All this can come. But then, if there is true love for the master, then all of this gets cleaned up. Cleaned up. There have been relationships. There have also been relationships. There are many relationships in the Muji Sangha, and there have been relationships even in this Sangha. New relationships that got formed amongst people who joined the Sangha. There have been. But ultimately, what has happened is that there is so much love for the truth there that the relationship does not get in the way. So either it uh, it is in service to the truth, or the relationship falls away. See?
yes, 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 yes. Oh, thank you.
Just like we cannot replace, like we were discussing the other day, and I think Lizal also mentioned in her reading from talks with Sri Ramana Maharishi, was that we cannot replace even the concept I am a person with another concept even as glorious as I am God. It doesn't help. Just by saying Aham Brahmasi is not going to make you God. Just in the same way, so we are getting rid of all the stories, all the concepts. In the same way, you cannot replace one aspect of your relationship and try to replace that with another. It will not provide you freedom from suffering. It might just seem like some pain relief for a few moments, but what needs to be seen, what needs to be burned, let it get burned. Don't try to stop the burning. It is very auspicious burning. And completely then, when you're free from any sort of attachment to any of this, then automatically, whatever relationship is meant to happen or not meant to happen, you will say, all of this just happened, you see. It will not seem like effort. It will not seem
Yeah,
like a choice.
yes,
You will not be able to say that because I had this older relationship and because of that, then I wanted to get a new relationship. You will not be able to say why any of this happened. You will see that it just flows on its own. So I don't want anyone to get the idea that I'm against relationships.
yeah.
I'm not against relationships. I'm just against the concept that there is a doer who is deciding to get into this relationship or that relationship.
Yes,
Explore whether there is somebody who is making these choices. There is nobody. And when you all do come with some relationships, my blessings are always with you. Always. But for me, it makes no difference whether you are announcing the start of a new relationship or the end of an old one. Because I know that the universe is taking care of exactly what needs to happen is happening. It's okay. Like you said very nicely that it seems like it's a solemn time. And sometimes we are not attracted to this solemnness. You see? This solemnity is not something that we are naturally attracted to. But there is great beauty in this solemnity also. There is great beauty. There's great depth in it.
Oh yes,
Great,
absolutely. Yeah.
much more than something which is just very exuberant or jumpy. It's nothing will stay. All this grief, all this pain will also pass. This too shall pass.
I'm just floating in these empty spaces and listening to you and allowing the any anguish, any anxiety to sort of fill the space with anything but just the silence. And I have no words, as you know, as you know.
It's very good.
And this space is just is nurturing every possible healing in me. I can report that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's incredible how I feel a lotus flower is really opening. It's feeling that it's okay to open, and
Yes. I have got a low battery notification on my computer. If my computer goes off, it is not that I suddenly wanted to turn off Satsang. It is just that my battery ran out here. Very nice to hear your words as always. Very
a big aloha love to all of you, and big hug to everyone.
same, my dear. So much love.
Mm. I carry you all throughout the day, every second of the day. I hold you close to my heart.
Very good. Okay, so maybe Lizal can end with a short prayer at the feet of the masters.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Dhyanamalam Guru Murti, Pujamalam Guru Padam, Mantramalam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamalam Guru Kripa, Mokshamalam Mujiji Kripa, Mokshamalam Anantaji Kripa. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you. Very good. Thank you all so very much for this beautiful satsang today. Mujiji ki jai.
Jai.
Jai. Ananta ji ki jai.
Yay.
Jai.
Jai.
Yay.
Hey.
Jai, Jai, aloha.
So we woke up Ram early this morning. There's some chat which I missed. Claire said, is there some seva that I can do for you? I dropped out of the transcribing and I'm not sure if that was okay or not, but it was feeling like treading water and I don't know if I'm avoiding ego crushing. Yes. We can do some seva. This is very good. And it is completely fine. If you feel that some seva is not really working out, don't be quick to give it up. But if it's clear in your heart that this is not for me, if it's completely clear in your heart, then you can, without any hesitation, say that I would rather not be doing this, and we can find something else for you to work on. I love you so much, Bhagwati ji. Very good. Thank you, thank you. Cornelia said, Rashmi is so beautiful. Very beautiful singing today. Very good. He's down?
He's at home. He's like, where are you?
What's happening? What's happening?
So like, can I give you a hug to sleep?
Yes, yes. Gaushita, Gaushitha, Gaushitha said, ooh, okay. Shakti said, so beautiful. Oh, Jaini wanted to come up. Do you want to say something for a minute? Although my battery might go anytime.
Father, it can wait. It's kind of like just the willingness to bring it somehow started to the process of burning it. So I don't know if I should just wait and see, maybe bring it tomorrow. But just the willingness to come forward started to, it was seen through.
No, you can start speaking, but don't mind if my computer goes away. Let's see what happens.
Okay. It's totally seen, and I know it's not true, but yet this is a very old, almost tendency that draws, or an energy that draws attention, and I just want to expose. And the mind is saying, don't expose it, don't expose it. That there's shame around it, and there is a wanting to hide it because it's not nice. So that's there is then more of a reason to bring it forward.
Yes.
And there's just always been this very old tendency here to now the mind is going blank. Like it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous because it's just thought. But because it doesn't, because there is a wanting to hide, there is therefore feeling that it needs to be shared. There is an energy of kind of like a competitiveness, always trying to be the best at things. My whole life, or this, I can't even say my whole life because that's always been this tendency, and then a trying, a doing, a comparing, and it's all ego based, and it's just, I just really want to bring that to the fire of satsang, and it's really silly, but it's a very kind of
What's it saying now? Is
egoistic.
it now what is?
Nothing.
Is it like a spiritual competitiveness, or what? What is the?
Right now, it's not saying anything, but it's something that it's like the ego will compare, and it will say, well, you're never going to get it, and this person has got it, and da da da. It's all rubbish. It's complete rubbish, but somehow it draws attention, and that's why I really want to bring it forward, because it's like it's nonsense.
Yes. And if anything feels like it is true in this, is there anything still which feels like it is true in this? Just do the search now. And if there's anything that still feels true in this, just share it here.
You know what there is? There is what it doesn't feel true, but what there is there is a feeling of shame about having the thought, about kind of not about connecting with that thought and thinking that there's anything in it. There is a shame around that.
That how could I have this kind of thought? Is it like that, or?
Yeah, and how could this kind of thought be given attention to? Like like a lot of shame around it, and underneath that, like and it's all for the person. It's like it's seen, it's not true, it's not real, it's not what I am. But it comes down to, I guess, something wanting approval, or something not feeling good enough. And that's still on the ego level, but I just really just want to bring it to your feet, because it's very easy to try and pretend, try and hide it.
This is expose this, because this also takes a lot of integrity to be able to share. And I want to tell all of you that nobody in the Sangha has got anything at all, including myself.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes, I know you know, but still I want to reiterate. Nobody here has got anything at all. There's nobody who's first, there's nobody who came second, there is nothing.
No, this is, it's totally seen and totally known.
Yes.
But there's something here that just feels to expose anything that wants to be hidden. I don't know. I don't want to hold anything back. But even the one saying that is not true.
Yes. This is good, and the reason why I want to say it so clearly again and again is that when you hear this thought next time, then maybe these words will also come along with that. You see? And then you will
Yeah.
not even have to make the effort of letting it go. It seems like effort sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because it's an old habit from childhood almost, like a very old habit. And so it's kind of a habitual patterning. That in itself, that's all it's seen, it's just a habit.
So what happens is that all our conditioning is like this, isn't it? That you must win, you must come, you must strive, you must get it, you must. Ever since we were kids, we were taught like this. You must. Now, so we are in this environment and we are saying, you must win here also. You must win at enlightenment. That's what the thought that comes. You see?
It's so ridiculous.
It is, it is. You see, but it's okay because it's very natural also for this to come because our conditioning was like this. So it will come like that. It happened first time. So let me also expose. So first time I went to Tiruvannamalai and I knew about the beings which met Mujiji first when he used to be selling incense in Brixton and things. There were these beings. Nataraj was there, some others who were there, and I was aware of them. Nobody had said that these are the ones. You see, these are the ones who found Muji first. And when I saw them first time, I felt jealous. I wish it was me. I wish it was me like that. It can come like this. Hmm? Don't worry, it is very natural for it to come, but in your clear seeing, it cannot last. All these things will not last.
Yeah. I have it with my sister quite a lot because she's also part of the Sangha. And it's been great satsang to expose it to each other. And it goes back to kind of the familial history of needing to be something to get father's love. So it's like a kind of old pattern. And it's really great. It's really, really, really so such a blessing that because it's not true, it's just conditioning.
Of course.
But I thank you for thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
I now see this small square at the left bottom of the screen which says 18 plus. So satsang has become an 18 plus. Yeah. So maybe when we create it, there's an option. You see, there's an option by mistake. I feel it got selected that is this for adults only. Or was it done with some reasoning, or is it a mistake? It's just very funny to see.
Come on. The screen's frozen.
It's okay, it's okay. Just a small thing. My attention has been going to it somehow.
Father, I don't know if
Yes,
you can hear me.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, it was when all the technical stuff was happening. I forgot to uncheck the box. I was in such a hurry. Sorry, it was a mistake.
Oh, it's fine. It's completely fine. It was just my attention kept going.
It means only adults are allowed in satsang today.
Where you start off as adults and you become children.
Yeah.
Father, I just want to say as well that even this bringing, though, this kind of this dispose is also nonsense. It's also kind of like on a subtler level precipitates the need that there's something that needs to be done.
Yes.
Or on a I mean,
Yes, it is. So ultimately, it will also be seen that surrender was also not a doing, not something
no.
that I did.
Thank you.
Accept your own freedom. You see, sometimes the trouble is that we are unwilling to accept our own freedom.
Mm.
In fact, this is reminding me. I don't know how my battery is still continuing, but this is reminding me. I remember the first time I saw Jayani in person was I'd seen her video and I was very impressed with that video. But the first time I saw her in person, she was asking Mujiji something, and Mujiji said, "But I thought we took care of all of this." You see, so and it was so clear to me when seeing that video that it's clear for her. There's something in her which doesn't want to accept the truth that there is nothing else to be done. There is no other certificate required. There is nowhere to go. Hmm? There's nothing to track, no temperature to take. Who has not seen the video? Anyone here who's seen the video can say that this one has not understood something. There's still something left for her to do, something to understand.
It's like somehow
But you remember this or no?
the mind.
The Mujiji said that I took care of
Yeah,
this already, isn't it?
Misha just gotten so frustrated with me over the years because he just says to me the same thing. He's like, like he says like the war is over,
Yes.
and he tells a story of World War II where the war's already over, but there's a small little island where people are still fighting, thinking that the war is still going, and like your mind just doesn't want to be. You think you're that island.
Yeah. Yeah. And in this case, there was never a war anyway. You just got the news that there was.
No.
You still want the medal, a bravery medal for the war.
No, Anantaji.
I know. So we have to come to the point where we say that yes, nothing else is needed here. Nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen that video of Papaji? Papaji is speaking to this German lady, somebody in a green dress, and it's something like 4 second freedom, quick this thing, and this lady comes and she does this thing and she starts laughing. You see, and then we feel oh, this one must be completely free. You see, because it happened completely free. So like that. Then she says, "Have I really understood? Suppose she bought this question."
Gets the mind just doesn't want to let go, but that's okay. It doesn't have to. Doesn't have to. Now everything's frozen. I don't know what happened.
I think Father's battery went.
Yeah,
Oh, my love.
it's so great.
Oh, my love.
I love you.
Love you, my love.
We love
No
you,
more,
darling.
no more fighting on islands over there.
The war is over. Ananta.
The war is over. Let's listen. Jaya!
Jaya Shiva Shankara, 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 Jaya
Never live.
Jaya Shiva Shankara, Jaya Shiva Shankara, Shivaya, Shivaya, Namaha, Jaya Shiva, Jaya Shiva Shankara, Jaya Shiva, Jaya Shiva Shankara, Jaya Shiva, Jaya Shiva Shankara, Jaya Shiva Shankara, Jaya Shiva Shankara,
Did I come back to the same place, or was this a different?
We're not jolling without you, Father. We lost you.
No. These days, my computer has to tell me when satsang is over.
Jaya.
Very good.
Om.
Very good. So much love to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ram, for moderating today. Very good. Very good.
So thank you, Lizelle, for stepping in when the screen closed.
That's good. All good with Jayani? All good. That's good. Very good. All right, my loves. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye
bye,
for now.
Ananta. Bye bye.
Muji ji ki jai. Ananta ji ki jai. Sangha ki jai.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
Love you, love you.
Love you.
Jai, Jai, Jai. Love you. Bye.